All right, everyone, welcome back to another lovely Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil. And today, shockingly, there are issues with Conquest. I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts. I think that what I hope Capital Games does to remedy this situation, what potential fixes could happen, and just kind of give you guys a little bit of advice on if you do want to try and get through these, here's how to do it. So before we do that, I want to give a huge shout out to the channel members. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. If you are interested in joining, link down below. I've also got the link to the Discord there, which is like when I first was doing Conquest last night and I figured out how to get through, I did post it there. I'm just not as good about making a video at that right away because I was putting my daughter to sleep, so I just did not have time to come and do a video. So let's dive right in, talk about Conquest. So if you've been playing Conquest, you know that these Sector 1, obviously being the first one, this mini boss here is absolutely ridiculous. This is one of the most ludicrous levels. Crazy, right? It's absolutely crazy. It is juiced to the max. Like my Jabba the Hutt team could not clear this on multiple attempts. It just is, it's nuts. And the thing is, there's not even a description of the modifier, which I don't know that players are commenting about this enough, but that to me was like a big red flag. But there's not even a description of what's being modified here. So you don't even know what you should be doing, right? Like you don't know, which is ridiculous. Like this cannot happen. This should not be happening in Conquest. So there's that, right? That was enough. So I was trying all these different teams. Nothing was working. Finally, what ended up working for me, now, of course, you've got to have the team, right? But what I ended up using was a combination like this, where I realized that there's not an AoE on this team. It's just single fire damage. So as long as you can keep zombie taunting, you could get through. So this ended up being the team that I used. I didn't even need Wat Tambor here. I could have put like a, any other non-taunting character because I only want them targeting zombie in this case. But this got me the feat. Cere Junda survived at level 1 gear 1 because they just have to continually target Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. That's all they can do is target Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. All they could do is target zombie, right? I always preach that Daka and zombie are so important to Kylo. They're his friends. This is why. Like, it was such a cheese thing. I did the AoE first. Zombie had perpetual taunt, and then it was game, set, match from there. It was very easy to get through. Really easy. They cannot kill zombie permanently. Then, right, so, and that still took me a while, right? That still took a while to ramp Kylo to that point, but I got through it in the end. I have seen other players talking about using Droideka and kind of lining it up. That's another option to use as well. But yeah, it was crazy how ridiculous this modifier is. They're not even talking about the modifier. It's not in here. They tried to push out a hotfix and it didn't work. Absolutely just so wrong in this Conquest. Especially, like, this is exacerbated, I think. Players are exacerbated because this Conquest is already so ridiculously hard for your average free-to-play player. Like, you're looking at this. Win with Jawas, win with Old Republic. Like, a Jawa's surviving. Win with Old Republic. Like, the feats are not player-friendly already. And then to add in a node like that where there's so few things that beat it because the modifier is missing and it's juiced up entirely, it's not okay, right? It's not okay. This node here, right? Again, look at that. Over-prepared 4 on the ranker. I don't know why it needs over-prepared 4, but it does. So, again, I only 2-starred this one because I made a mistake. So the team I used, again, was the same thing. So I used this, but I did bring Kylo unmasked. I should have left him out. I should have put in another character that doesn't taunt because the ranker decided to eat him rather than zombie. And I did put in my Ben Solo that I had. And this was able to, again, win. Only 2-starred, but I did get Ben Solo to survive, so we're fine, right? But, again, like, why is this what needs to be able to beat that mini-boss node? Why is this the team that has to get that done? No description of the modifier. It's the mini-bosses and other bosses I've heard in other sectors are just insane, too. And I don't like it at all. I think that they really... You can't afford to have issues like this every single time Conquest goes active. And Conquest has almost been active now for 24 hours, and there's no fix to this. They need to shut it down. It needs to get shut down, in my opinion. You have to shut down Conquest at this point. We cannot afford for Conquest to go on like this. It's not fair to the player base that Conquest is going on right now. Like, it needs to shut it down and regroup and figure out how to do a make good. Because it's not right. It's not okay. It's too difficult. You cannot tell me that this was intentional, right? That you said the hotfix went out and it's still not working. So this needs fixed. And especially when you're releasing a character that a lot of players are looking forward to, right? That people are looking forward to this Moff Gideon. And when your feats are already this ridiculous, I think that this is just not okay. A lot of players in my own server are like, I can't get past the mini boss, and I completely understand. So, Capital Games, as Arnold always loves to say, fix your game, but here it's not just about fixing. We need make goods, because your players have spent crystals, energy, just like general and time, right? There needs to be a make good for this. It's not okay that we have this buggy of a conquest already. And it always seems the first conquest, there's always problems. So how every single time are there problems? Like, what are we doing wrong every single time we start a new conquest? So they need to use this. This needs to be a shot across the bow to them that, like, you have to fix this, right? So, again, I don't want to keep just beating a dead horse all the time. It feels like I've been ragging on CG a lot lately, and that used to not be my MO, but there's just a lot of stuff that they're dropping the ball with, and these should be easy wins. These should be easy wins, right? Like, there's not that much you have to change inside of Conquest. They don't change that much. They just randomly roll what teams you can face, change the mini-bosses a little bit. Like, it's very difficult, right? And, like, you look here, right, and there's at least, hey, a description of the enemy modifier. So why with the other ones are there not descriptions? So, yeah, that is the way I did get through it. If you have that as an option, go ahead and try it. Otherwise, you can try some, like, wonky things with, like, Droidica and damage immunity. I heard there's been some success there. I've seen players maybe trying with, like, Jedi Master Kenobi and maybe getting it done. But, yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. And don't feel like you're a failure if you're not getting through, because it is completely bugged, and yeah, they need to fix it. So I did want to get this video out there just to show you how I did do it and kind of voice my frustration here, because again, this should be simple. This should be like, this needs to be a slam dunk for them. This is a staple. This is coming for weeks. You could have at least just done a little test. Hey, did the mini bosses work? So yeah, especially in a game mode that players have under such a microscope, because we already feel that it's grindy and it's not fun and it feels like a chore, and then to have it be this ridiculously hard, like, you want players to enjoy this game mode and spend money on it. This is not the way to do it. Those are my thoughts, guys. You let me know what you think down below. Hopefully, if you do have the characters that I have, you've been able to get through this node, can at least start attempting some of the later levels in Conquest to earn some resources. I love all you. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.